Let's talk a little bit about what's in algorithms and data structures. There's a history behind algorithms and data structures, but I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to just say that the class was designed to actually reflect what the students did in university when they finished with all their classes up to AP. And after the AP class, when the students did well, then they were able to go to the university and take this class. At one point, the
so
university
this is a high level class.
It's a higher level class. It's a 200 level class. So at one point, the university had got overwhelmed with the students taking computer science, and now they had more restrictions. And so we have to kind of compensate for that, and that's why this class was created. So what I do is I use the resources from the university. And they're very generous. I mean, I contact them and I let them know what I was doing, and definitely they offer me everything they had. As a matter of fact, I got the signature of Professor Cedric, which is the professor who put it, who does the lessons, and in the book. So in this homepage, understand that you have all the information you need to get somewhere, anywhere in the Canvas class. So here we have a special schedules like we did the last couple of days. Here's a STEM trip that we're going to have in June. Actually, I'm going to be chaperoning that trip. I'm very excited about it. I think you probably heard of it last year. Then we have usually 3 months of in the calendar, and then we have the regular schedules. So if we want to know something in particular about the class itself, the best is to look at the class overview. But before we do that, let's go see what Mrs. Elliott does after school. One of my biggest interests is to actually do advice clubs. As you can see, I advise a bunch of clubs. I have more of this, but they didn't put the act together for the club fair. Tomorrow is the club fair. And so this is probably going to increase a little bit as we go. It would be nice if you guys spend a little time looking at it at home. I don't want to take the time right now to talk about that because we have very limited time. So let's go back to the home screen. And from the home screen, let's go to the class overview. And that's going to put me on information straight out of the university. Everything you see over here is coming from that second level, 200 level class. We're not going to cover everything. It's kind of a very, how can I say? There's a lot of material that goes in here. And so what after a few years, actually now it's several years of teaching this, I don't really teach the class. I moderate the class because all the lessons are given by the professor in videos, just like they do at the university.
So the professor video is teaching. Got it. You're just providing us. Okay.
Yes. There's a lot of collaboration in the classroom. I encourage them to collaborate. I encourage them to help each other. Some of the videos, they're going to be watching them at home. Some of them I will be playing them in the classroom and we'll talk about it. Some of them are things that they don't need, I don't know how to say my help, but certainly the videos are well done. It's difficult to compete with a professor. So not offering those videos it will be a disservice. And so the videos are available. What I started doing the last 2 years, I created almost a la carte type of learning experience. There are some specifics about the algo class that must be covered. For example, the fundamentals, they have to do this. The sorts, they already had seen some of the sorts in the AP class. And the sort, the way they do it at the university is very deep and very, with a lot of minutiae in there. So unless a student is very interested on the sort topic as per se, then the student can spend more time on it. Otherwise, I tell them to specific points that they should be paying attention to. The same thing goes with searching, because those are the two topics that we did last year. Of course, at a different level. Remember, this is a second level. There's math involved in some of these things. So if I have a student who is math oriented, he might be very interested in doing some of the math proofs that Professor Cedric presents. And so those are kind of options. That's why I call it a la carte. I do focus mostly on something called graph theory, because I think this is probably one of those things that they will encounter just about anywhere. And by anywhere, I mean graph theory can be used in so many different applications that I think that is very important. I put a lot of emphasis on that. So I'm kind of, it's superficial at the top on the first modules, but then we're going to be more in depth on this particular chapter. From there, they can decide what they want to do. They can go back and look at whatever they did before and they want to explore further, or they can move forward into topics that are definitely much more complex. This is Professor Cedric, and he is giving all the lectures over here. There is no assessments, it's all assignments and projects. Class participation means working in class and not just, wasting time. I have mostly seniors. I think I have maybe a couple of juniors, and I make it my own goal to always end up with students who are 11th or 12th graders. To reach that level of maturity in which they can be independent mostly. One thing to know is about a policy that I have for already a number of years, and that had been very successful, at least for me. Assignments that I post, they have a specific date. Mostly that is almost like a work management tool. It tells them, look, if you finish this by this date, you will never get overwhelmed when the hard due date comes in. The hard due date, which was today, is this one, right? And as you can see, there is a total of 4 hard due dates. Let's take a look at what that means. If I go to modules over here, and you can get modules also from the home class, the home page. This is what we've been doing, or they've been doing. Here we looked at these particular abstract data types, then recursion. So this is the latest they've been working on. And as you can see, all the way up to here is what falls within the hard due date. To know exactly what that means, they can go right here, the hard due dates, and tell them what it is that I want them to finish for that particular date. So here is what they have to have finished. Of course, there are exceptions. There are students who are having more difficulty completing beyond the hard due date, and there is a reason. Difficulty doesn't mean they're not able to. It could be something like, I don't know, they're involved in other things besides school, like athletics, or the student misses days because of religious observations or family reunions or whatever. Hopefully everything is good. Then I'm kind of flexible about that.
So a quick question. Yes. I know there are hard dates for the assignment due. Do you have certain, flexible hours if they need help?
Yes.
And sometimes that, if I know that sometimes you do the project, you do the coding, and you need to debug, right? So, yes. And sometimes kids need some help, but I probably won't be able to. So I want to see where the resource to get help.
So by the time they take this class, they already know me, and they know that I'm always here. I'm always open. And in terms of the classroom is open. If I have a free period, definitely that's an office hour. After school, I'm here until late. In school right now. It's not uncommon for me to leave early. To leave late. So yes, they can come to me for any questions anytime.
Mm.
And office hours is my favorite periods. I think I have it
Okay.
on the overview somewhere.
They just need to arrange that, right?
Usually,
Arrange it before the hard due date, like today.
yes. Yes, it is really good if they can actually tell me ahead of time that they're actually they need help with something, and students do it. They do, and we are in the classroom and they ask questions and we discuss it. One of the good things about this class is that since it's a small, discussions are not just between one-on-one, although it can be. You hear other students chiming in, which is really good.
Oh,
I like that
yeah.
part a lot.
Yeah.
What time is it? This is about the time that you have to go
Yeah, I
to
think
the
that's our
next
time.
class.
Yeah.
Let me stop.